Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing well there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great, and appreciate you stopping by. So, tuned in today to Serbia taking on Greece. Been watching some international basketball with your Miami Heat, having several representatives around the world. Last night, Norman Powell played against Barbados. Pretty, coasting performance by Norman Powell. Not one where he was exactly lighting the world on fire. Not one where he exactly had to. Of course, getting to know his teammates. They trained a little bit in Boca Raton to get ready for their game as they're qualifying. This was a prep game for Eurobasket, which is going to get going in the latter part of August. And this was supposed to be this big-time matchup between Serbia and Greece, a little friendly international game. Giannis Antetokounmpo, though, much to Serbia's coach Pesic, his disappointment, did not play in this game. We got all Antetokounmpos except for the Antetokounmpo everybody wanted to see. And so instead of getting Nikola Jokic and Greek Freak, a couple of MVPs going at it, we did not. And Joker, whoo, man, I got to tell you something. I'm going to get to Jovic here in a second because we're here for one thing and one thing alone, obviously, on this channel. This is not a Denver Nuggets usually covering channel other than my frustration of them as a franchise always seeming to get the better of the Heat. We're here for one thing and one thing alone, and that is Jović Dude. And there is Jovic stuff to discuss, even though this was not like the biggest game in the world from him. Interesting ending to the game, which I do think ties into some things that Erik Spoelstra had to say. But I gotta just talk about the 3-time MVP for a second, because Joker in this game played 26 minutes. His numbers: 23 points, 19 rebounds. I believe he had a double-double in like 15 minutes in this game. He is everything for that team. But the thing that I found interesting about this, so many people are making a big deal this summer about Luka Doncic getting into shape. And I saw articles that Luka's down from like 230 to 200 and that he's like cut his body fat like way down. And he obviously looks incredible. Joker, I think, has also gotten himself into better shape in past years. But in this game, looked like he literally rolled off of the horse track to come and play this game. And if I was Luka Doncic, I would be so frustrated that everybody talks about me and the health that I have to get into, because you look at this behemoth, and nobody gives a rat's ass whether he has a carb, beers, how many crunches he can do, whether he looks good with his shirt off. This guy is the most dominant basketball player in the world. He toyed with Greece. It was embarrassing for Greece. They could do nothing with him. And he just does everything with such ease and such comfort. And just nothing feels like it is strenuous to him. And you can do nothing. It really is like a monster taking on humans. It really is something to watch this guy play basketball. And obviously, him being on this team may not mean that we're ever going to get the big production offensively from Nikola Jovic. But I do think, Niko did some really, really, our Niko did some really, really good things today. First of all, he comes out of the gate, guns blazing, hits a couple of threes, gets himself on the board. It was the first quarter of this game was the best played, and then it really hit the skids. And Niko ends up finishing today with 9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 3 of 7 from the field. I think he was 2 of 3 from downtown. Got a free throw in there. So did a little bit of everything. Nobody really did any scoring for Serbia. Mind you, 76 total points. Nobody really did anything for Serbia that wasn't Nikola Jokic. Bogdan Bogdanovic had 9. Nobody else was in double digits. Niko had 9 points. Avramovic hit a huge 3 late after Greece was kind of making a comeback. They started lighting up a bunch of threes from downtown. But mind you, these guys have played. I want everybody to realize these guys are playing. This is their 3rd game together. This is the first one televised that they played together, much like Norman Powell yesterday. That was the first game that those guys have played together. Even though a lot of these guys have played, these are familiar faces if you guys have been following World Cup, Olympics. So a lot of these guys are, familiar with each other. But Jović today did get the start. He did go out there, and he was one of Coach Pesic's starters for this game, along with Bogdan Bogdanović and the Joker. And I thought there was a point where him and Joker got taken out, and Joker was in a little bit of foul trouble, and so they put Jović back in, and he was kind of just like flying all over the place, flying everywhere. A lot of great second chances, getting his teammates involved. So I thought that he looked good. The one thing that I would say, if Erik Spoelstra is watching this game, if you guys don't recall, Erik Spoelstra did have a challenge to Niko with this, and this was to play in the, quote, moments of truth, that he wants Niko to go out there and play in the moments of truth, make that coach play you, and that did not necessarily happen today. At the end of this game, I believe Niko, he came out, I want to say there was about a little before clutch time. Now, mind you, he had played most of the second half, so I don't know if that was a question of this is a friendly, they're monitoring his minutes. There could be a lot of other reasons for it. It certainly wasn't that he was playing poorly. I was wondering when Greece was making their comeback, would he get back in there? But that did not ultimately happen. But the one thing that I was curious about was, him not playing down the stretch. That was one of those things where Erik Spoelstra did challenge Niko when in Vegas.
The last 2 summers have been really good because it's been a strong balance of the Miami Heat player development program and then going to play for his national team. I think that's helped his maturity because it means a whole lot to that team and every player and every coaching staff. You can't just go in there like casual. So I think that's been as important as the stuff we've been doing. And I think this summer they have big expectations. And, the first year he was a token starter on the World Championships, and then any moments of truth he wasn't playing. Coaches will play who they think can help you win. Last year he was probably the 8th or 9th, 10th man. Biggest stage. So my challenge to him was break in the rotation. Make that Hall of Fame coach earn your trust. And it's all the consistency. It's the winning things. It's your approach. It's no different than here. I love that fact that he's playing for that coach who's very demanding. But Niko had a really good June and late May. He's put on some strength too. He's just going to come back looking different. Every year he comes back stronger, bigger. I'm excited about his improvement.
There you go. That was Erik Spoelstra back in July. Svetislav Pesic, the Serbian coach, did not have him in clutch time, but he was third in minutes overall today. And again, he did have a string there in the second half where he was playing a lot of consistent minutes. I'm sure that when things were getting dicey, perhaps you would have wanted. But again, friendly. They've just started playing. I'm sure that he knows he has a responsibility also to Niko and the Miami Heat to not run him into the ground either. But overall, got off to a very hot start. It was not a big-time scoring game today if your name was not Nikola Jokic. But Nikola Jovic started off hitting some big threes, got on the fast break, got a nice fast break bucket. Didn't get, it's not like he was getting a ton of looks either. I mean, this team and their engine really does go through that big man. I mean, and this is a team that is the favorite to win that championship. This is also not some cutesy little thing where he's out here and it's like, oh boy, they're not some afterthought in the championship either. So this is one that they definitely wanted to go get. But it is cool to see him back in action there, seeing this Serbian team go out there and get this victory, even though we did not get to see Greek Freak in action with this one as well. I believe Pelle Larsson plays tomorrow, I believe is when they are in action. I believe we will get to see Sweden play a little bit, and it looks like Jamaica also plays tomorrow. They play Mexico. So we got Norman Powell in action. I believe Pelle Larsson will be in action as well. So get a couple more guys going. But Jović, dude, getting himself a win today with a little 9-5 for Serbia over Greece.